till Mark and Josh podcast.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Mark and Josh podcast. We have a very, very special guest. The succulent, the mysterious, the sensual, the rhythmic, the authentic, the Bavarian.
Bavarian.
You have anything to add to that?
I'm just kissing this dog right now. Wonderful dog owner.
A wonderful dog owner, very responsible, looks after the dogs with pride and care. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome my longtime friend, the pseudo social media famous, she's very sexy, probably a 10 out of 10. She sort of is I think she is like the exemplary. What would you say you look like that people sort of, they really, it resonates with them? Your look. I didn't even say what her name was.
No.
Her name is Jenny Thompson. Okay, ladies
Hello.
and gentlemen, and
That's
you
me.
need to show some motherfucking respect. What's up, Jenny?
Not a lot. Do you want me to answer your question?
I
that
want you to
asked?
answer my question now.
I don't know what you mean, like alternative girl or something.
You
Is that
look.
what?
You have a look. I feel like
I don't know, like
that is like.
Hashtag.
I think it's. I don't know, like the way that I could look at Arnold Schwarzenegger and say that he is the definition of like a muscular man. Even to this day, when I
that's
see
me
him
too.
on a bodybuilding magazine, they just show an old pic of Arnold from his heyday, like 70s, and more people buy those issues than the issues with the new guys on the cover. Like there's something about his look that is, I don't know what it is.
I would classify myself also as a muscle builder man.
Would you say that you have the
100%.
Arnold Schwarzenegger appeal?
Yeah, I am him actually in disguise.
So, Jenny, let me talk about how I met you. I met you when I was working at Chuck E. Cheese.
That's right.
Now, a lot of people don't know this about me, but my very first job in high school was at Chuck E. Cheese restaurant. I was making $6.90 an hour, and pretty often I would have to get in the rat suit and dance at children's birthdays. And the thing about the rat suit, Jenny, I don't want to step on too much stuff here for today, but I need to talk about the rat suit.
I think you do.
Because I think it's criminal what they do to you there. So for $6.90 an hour, I was getting into a steaming hot rat. The suit stunk. I'd heard stories about people who were like, yeah, dude, I shit my pants in it. And I'm like, it's kind of funny, but you shouldn't tell me that because I have to get in that suit. It stinks.
There was really only one. We
didn't have a backup suit. Everybody got in one suit. And nobody wanted to do it. So the manager, but I didn't want to be seen at Chuck E. Cheese. You know what I mean? Like to me, it was more embarrassing to be seen working at Chuck E. Cheese than to be hidden in the rat suit. So everyone would be like, no, I don't want to do that shit. And I'd be like, I don't want to be seen working here. I would get basketball shorts and never have to be seen in public. So I would just go into the back closet with basketball shorts on, get into the rat, and go dance around, and nobody would see me. To me, that's winning at that.
Yeah.
What do you?
I was just remembering, did they wear referee shirts or something?
That's
I
what I
remember
mean.
you in a referee shirt.
Yeah, I was dressed like a Foot Locker employee. And you remember that. And I remember
do.
being really embarrassed, actually, when I met you. Because obviously
I was 7 years old.
You're an attractive person. You're 7 years old at the time, of course.
It was actually,
How old were you actually?
it was my best friend's 18th birthday, and I was 17, almost 18. Yeah.
And I was
and hanging out at Chuck E. Cheese. So that's
That's our generation.
that was her ideal thing. That's what she wanted to do. Her 18th birthday.
What were your feelings about Chuck E. Cheese?
I had no feelings about it. I didn't.
Did you think you were going to make a longtime friend that day when you walked in?
No, I didn't. There were 3 of you, I think, I met there that day that were people I knew for years. But you're the best one.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
What did you think about us wearing that referee uniform? Like, were you like, wow, why? Were you puzzled by why were we dressed like referees? I really haven't thought about that enough. Is why were we?
I wore every job I had. I wore some stupid clown suit too. So fine, didn't bother me.
So we met at Chuck E. Cheese, and we became longtime friends. You have since gone on to have a lucrative photography career. Your pictures are very, very popular online. They're very good. You have your own style. You've made a living off of it. You've sort of done what most people want to do with art, like what people like aspire to, which is that not necessarily being a superstar. Like if you can make a living off of art, you are a superstar. You know what I mean? And people, I think, to pull the layers back, like fuck stardom. Talk about, your journey through photography, sort of how it started, and then how we got where we are now. Because you really have blown up.
Well, it started obviously in the MySpace days. I would just set up my camera and like take pictures of myself. I couldn't find people that would model for me because at the time people would make fun of me because I would just post pictures of me in my backyard, like posing, like and stuff. So I couldn't find people to take pictures of. But actually, in 2012, 13, beginning of 2013, I don't know. I was working at a gun factory, and I got a camera and I started taking pictures of people, and I would work 50 hours a week at this gun factory. And then I would go home and do photos. And I was like doing photos like 6-7 hours after work. So it was just like working. And I decided that I did not want to be working at the gun factory anymore. And I kind of did what
Tell me the
a
details
lot of people
of the gun
do in like
factory.
the gun factory.
How bad? Like pretty monotonous, just like
It was a Smith & Wesson gun factory. And you had to have like special security clearance to get into it, which just meant you didn't have to have a felony or something. You know what I mean? That was it.
If you haven't killed anyone.
Yeah. As long as you haven't done anything like that. And I started out molding the guns in like the plastic things, and then I moved on up to inspecting guns. And I would just, I'm sorry, but it's kind of scary.
Would you just look at it and go,
scared. It's scary.
How did you inspect a gun? Did you just look at that's a gun, and you just toss it to the net? Like,
there's a bunch of different parts that are in a gun. Like there's a thing called like a slide stop, and like all these things that like go into guns. And I would have to make sure all the pieces were in it, and put in like a fake thing because it was just the plastic parts of it, the trigger and all that stuff. And I would just pull the trigger, make sure the trigger works, pull up the sides, and like check all the insides and make sure they made them right. Smack them with a hammer if they didn't, and.
What's the most egregious thing you've ever found wrong with a gun?
Pins missing. I mean, pins missing will cause it to like explode. Like
that's a big deal.
Yeah. Pins missing, messed up triggers, backwards triggers, like yes.
God, people would backwards. You would get guns with backwards triggers.
Yeah.
That's fucking
wow.
Yeah. So I quit, and I went on Warped Tour, and I was like, I'm gonna just go on Warped Tour, take pictures. I went all the way up the East Coast and stuff, and ever since then, I never looked back.
Who was the headliner when you were on the Warped Tour?
Oh my God, I can't even remember.
What year was this Warped Tour?
2013, I think.
Who was on?
Chiodos was there, and
anybody from when I was in high school?
I can't remember.
The Used there? Are the Used still around?
The Used were there. Yep.
No,
the Used were there.
I would dig that. I'm still a fan.
Chris was telling Burt McCracken a joke, and he didn't even know it was Burt McCracken, and he laughed.
Really?
So that's the highlight of the summer. That's it. Stop.
So what? Hey, you need to relax over there.
Yeah.
Jenny's huskies are getting out of control.
She thinks he's gonna take the bone, and they're not.
Bone.
He doesn't.
Mark,
even
don't
care.
take that dog's bone.
No, she thinks he's gonna take it. Sam.
I'm just thinking of George Thorogood right now.
So Warped
There
Tour
were years
happened.
that there was a few years that I was like struggling where I wasn't like really making anything, and I was living up with Chris's mom in Rochester, and like that was a hard place to try to like make it. But when I came back here, it just like
Well, you said Rochester
blew
was
up.
like the economy in Rochester is like more dog shit than most
It's a
other
weird
places.
place. Yeah, it definitely is. It's hard to get people that want to like pay people, and it's just I don't know. It felt like I was like landlocked by nowhereness. Like you can't go anywhere. It's just like nowhere around that little city area.
That's way up there too.
It is, yeah.
Do you remember your first gig there? Or one that went really bad?
No, I think that I ran like bathtub deals that I was doing in the trailer park, and it was like that's literally what I was doing, and like for like $50 or something, and booking them out like all day.
What's a bathtub deal?
Oh, like bathtub photo shoots. You know, you put a girl in a bathtub and pour milk in the bath and like make it all cool colors and You've never seen those?
I have, but I didn't know there was just accepted jargon to call it a bathroom.
I didn't know the
tub shoot.
Sorry.
I'm like, what? A tub
I
shoot?
didn't know the demand for having milk poured on you is that high.
Yeah, it has
They
its own
love it.
subset.
Yeah. Stop.
I'm not gonna...
Focus. Sorry.
It's all good.
Have to get him out of here or else they'll fight. They will. Anyway, yeah. Bathtub deals. I don't know.
But a lot of people were coming in for the bathtub deals.
Yeah, that was like, I think was like the thing in Rochester that like made people want to work with me, which is weird because I look back at them now and I hate those pictures.
How much milk were you going through in those days?
Oh yeah, you put like a gallon in each one.
It's disgusting. Even they sit in it for a while? Hours?
Yeah, but you drain it for the next person, you know. It's not like you just like keep the same.
If you wanted to be cheap.
You're blowing. I didn't know this was a thing. So did you scrub the bathtub every time?
Yeah. And it wasn't a beautiful bathtub. It was in a trailer park.
Wow.
I wonder sometimes like what the clients felt when they were like driving up. They're like, what is this? Is this the right place? Is this even a real person? That's like...
You're going to some place to have somebody pour milk on you. I don't think you're really that picky. It's like, well, I'll just go pour milk on me and take pictures.
But now, no, milk bath photos are very beautiful.
Yeah, they are.
Elegant. And it's just funny how you get those pictures, though, where it's not elegant or beautiful at all. It's just my bathtub.
So then when did shit start really picking up for you then? You started with
when
those...
I got back in Connecticut. Like right after we did the movie, the Lifetime movie, all that.
Jenny and I worked on a Lifetime movie together.
We did.
And it had Eric Roberts. And the circumstances were really, really shit. We had little resources. We had to shoot an entire movie in 12 days. There was like freezing cold temperatures, like a blizzard. Like God was just like, fuck you guys.
The first day was 20 hours and straight cold, and then waking up in like 4 hours after that.
We were working so long that the sound man, Brian Perry, who's an incredible sound man.
Good man.
He was nodding out. And Ronnie would be yelling out time code for Brian to yell back, and Brian would be 5, 2, 3. Like he would
but it was right though.
He would be right, but he would be falling. Dude, we were overworked. All of us were overworked.
It was a skeleton crew. It was a skeleton crew of people. There wasn't very many people. We all were working like 5 different jobs, and it was fun though. I loved it.
It was fun. It was a rush to not get any sleep.
That's one of the best. Yeah, one of the best things I've ever experienced was.
We were living off Red Bull, coffee.
Yep.
And there were.
I had to quit caffeine after that. I started having panic attacks.
Hey.
Oh, Sam, come on.
The Huskies are fighting. The Huskies are battling right now.
That sounds like a talk. Like he's trying to talk.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, man.
It's like, hey, buddy, what's up?
Focus, brother.
You 420 friendly, bro?
Come on. Stop. Come here. We can't.
Brother. I can't believe you guys glossed over George P. I want to just say I'm offended and disappointed.
George P. Saunders.
I forgot about that.
George P. Saunders.
She'll bite him, or not bite him, but she'll.
Hang on, Mark's got to talk these dogs down.
We're gonna do the
Guys, you're fucking up the podcast here. I know you don't care about human things.
I think this dog just wants a voice.
This is my life. I have to distract her with something. Hold on. Come on, focus. Come on. We're in the middle.
Which brings us to our sponsor. It's a natural lead into our sponsor.
Who's our sponsor for today? Because I know about the 45 disc Three Stooges box set officially ended the partnership we had.
Well, they were
apparently the Three Stooges estate was not happy about some of the remarks we had about the Three Stooges. They were upset that I wanted the Three Stooges to die. They thought that we were disrespecting the talent of Curly, Mo, and what's the fucking
Larry.
other one?
Larry.
And fucking Larry.
Shem.
With Shem. And just Three Stooges estate, real quick. A slight digression here. I'm sorry, Jenny, but I need the Three Stooges box set.
I know.
To be subsidized.
That's all we're trying to get. We've been trying.
I'm trying to be able to get to the point in my life where I can rent a Mazda Miata and go out in the summer with the top down, throw the Frisbee around, impress a couple underage girls. Not underage, like under 18, but like just graduated
under your
high
age.
school.
College.
Under my age. I meant under my age.
Barely legal.
Barely legal.
That's what it is. That's what,
No,
that's
it
what
is.
they call
It's
it in
barely
porn.
legal. I think it's unfair, though. It's either legal or it's not. I think
Right.
it's a little disrespectful to be like, oh, man, you're fucking barely legal. It's like,
Well, you know the connotation.
It doesn't work the other way.
I know the connotation, but I think it needs to change.
Right.
But it's not like barely illegal is okay too. It's like
Barely illegal.
barely illegal. 17 and 1 day behind 18.
You fucked her the day before her 18th birthday, Your Honor.
He'd be like, well, that's barely illegal.
Oh my god.
16.
But the Three
Okay,
Stooges,
so let's move on from this underage sex discussion.
That
with
was- that went there
semantics surrounding.
I'm glad we touched it, though. I'm glad we touched that topic.
What were we talking about?
Well, you were talking about the Three Stooges.
The Three Stooges? See, the dogs are getting mad again because I said the Three Stooges. They're not funny. Three Stooges box set, I'm sorry. The Three Stooges...
Do you guys want to try it? The three of us are here. We could be the
Can
Three
you,
Stooges.
Can you smash him with a...
Boink.
That's really all you had to do back then.
It's like, have one guy... The Three Stooges box set. I say fuck the Three Stooges. All right.
Whoa.
Whoa.
This is what got us into hot sauce.
Yo, even the dog is like, hey, you went
Yeah.
too far. All right. I don't... Three Stooges estate, call me. You have my pager number. You know what not what cell phone. Of course, I don't have a cell phone. Payphone. You know what payphones that I'm walking around. You can call that payphone.
Page him at 911 and he'll know.
Oh, God. I remember doing that to people.
My mom.
Page-
like
like, all-
pager 911.
Oh, dude, she would do that to me all the time. My mom would be like, 911, 911. It's like,
She's like, what do you want for dinner tonight, honey?
yeah. Dogs are beasts.
I could put her outside, but that might take me a minute.
Well, we can give a couple shouts out to our sponsor while
Okay,
you
you
take
do
Yeah,
that.
that's
Let
easier.
me do this. This will make it easy.
So forgive us, Three Stooges estate. What did you... Do you know if we have any new sponsors coming in? I know a lot of them are pulling back.
Well, most of them are pulling back.
Every time we get a sponsor, then after the episode, they're like, so we're going to have to not let you guys do our stuff anymore. And I'm like, why? And they're like, because what you say is highly offensive. And also it's conspiratorial. And you guys are on the CIA's hit list.
Well, if
And I said, wait a minute. Are you serious? Do you remember when the Three Stooges estate called you and was like, you guys are on the FBI watch list? You're on the CIA watch list. You're on the NSA watch list. What other watch lists are we on, Mark? Because we're on a long list. Every single list that you could be watched on.
Isn't the internet just one big list?
We're bigger than that, though. Like, some of you people at home think that you're tough. You think you're bad. You think you've done some illegal shit. You jaywalked a few times. You smoked weed in a car with your friends a few times. But we're on fucking watch lists. So you should watch your mouth when you're around us because we have brass knuckles. We've seen a lot of 80s movies, a lot of 80s action movies. And you don't want to fuck with us because we're on watch list, CIA watch list, NSA watch list, fucking the Department of Homeland Security watch list. We're on the Pentagon's watch list. We're on Cape Canaveral's watch list. We're on Red Lobster's watch list. Jenny, any other watch list? What do you...
Can we be on YouTube's watch list? That's all I really want. Just
YouTube?
up on the front page. Just put
Shout
us
out
on
to YouTube.
YouTube's watch list.
All right. So is anybody fucking with us? You know, because they call. You're the one who answers all the sponsors.
Well, Long John Silver's called us
Did they?
from last week. Remember? We
I
mentioned them
don't
briefly.
remember. I know that we mentioned Long John Silver's, but what did they like? Did they like that we put down Red Lobster?
They did, yeah. And also
That's why.
they're bringing those Fukushima lobsters back. It's actually a limited time only for Christmas.
Who's doing that? Long John Silver?
Long John Silver's.
Is it for pranks? Are they like doing a thing where like you can like get that sandwich for your friend and have him
Die.
get food poisoning?
Yeah. But you have to record it and tag them on Instagram for them to give you the discount.
What I want to know is who's eating at Long John Silver. That's what I want to know. That's my question
I don't
to
think
the
I've ever
to the
eaten
audience listening. There's one question of this whole podcast. It's, do you eat at Long John Silver? Because I don't fucking think I know a soul that's ever eaten there. I would never eat there in
I don't
a
even know
million
where's the
fucking
closest
years.
location.
I don't even know where there is a Long John Silver. That's how little I give a
Do
shit.
they have one in like Westbrook or Old Saybrook or something?
I don't know.
Seems like the place if they were going
I don't know,
to.
but if anybody out there
I don't
eats
know.
Long John Silver,
Please contact a doctor immediately.
immediately, yes. I hope you have health insurance if you're going to eat at a place like that. You're taking huge fucking risks with your health if you're uninsured and eating at Long John Silver's.
It's the only reason I want universal health care is to go.
So I can eat at Long John Silver.
Damn it, Obama's taking my choices.
So Jenny, let's talk a little bit about depression because you and me have had some pretty severe bouts of depression. And I know that we were texting back and forth for a little bit, and I was like, hey, I want to have you on and talk about it. Talk about some of our worst episodes, because I know in particular some of the episodes where my depression was like getting dangerous. Mm-hmm. And what happened for me to sort of get through that period. So talk a little bit about maybe, I'd like to hear some of your worst bouts of depression if you have like a particular story, like a particular
I don't know.
instance.
It's kind of something that I've been dealing with since I was like a teenager. Like, I don't know if it was like sprung on by like childhood stuff. Both my parents have mental illness. They're both depressed with anxiety and panic problems and stuff. So I think a lot of it is probably handed down to me. Thank you. But I think that like the worst was when in my early 20s when I was just trying to like drown it in alcohol. And, like all I wanted to do was just be drunk because I didn't think about it or like whatever it was. And I eventually obviously stopped doing that, thankfully. But I can't, it's hard for me to pick a specific thing because I'm depressed all the time, kind of, which is like really depressing to say, but it's true. To me, it's like kind of like this battle constantly where it's like, I have everything that I want. I do everything that I love. I have all my friends. I love them and stuff too. And I'm the thing in your brain that's telling you like, oh, you're not good enough still. That's not enough. You're not good enough and you're never going to be good enough. And like,
You're good enough for me, Jenny.
Depressing, I know, but that's
Yeah. How do you
can't,
cope? How do you do you have, like, a
art.
group? Okay.
Doing art, writing. I do a lot of writing, sad writing, obviously, but no,
You listen to brand new records.
I listen to brand new records, exercise, eat good, all that kind of crap that they tell you is supposed to change all that or whatever. But I also like my absolute favorite thing to do is to talk to other people about their depression and their anxiety and like help them kind of get through it. That helps me, whether they think that or not, it does.
So have you ever had depression? Has your depression, I should say, because you constantly deal with it, but has it ever gotten so bad that you've come close to taking your life or something that like that?
I tried Zoloft for a while. I don't know if you've ever tried it for anything. Have you ever tried medication or anything?
I have.
Yeah.
It made me feel weird and I stopped.
Yeah, that's what happened to me. And when I like took them for a few months and I stopped, and it's almost like it rewired my brain for the worst. Like it was even worse than before I started taking it. Like, so like I was like, that was when I was like really close to, I had to have like Chris be up with me like all night or else I probably would have done something or tried to do something, or at least that's what my brain was like telling me. And it's weird because I like to think that even though like I have these depression thoughts and stuff, that I'm like a strong person that like never like would ever do anything like that. And that was the first time I felt like, oh, probably should just do it. Nobody will care anyway. That's how it makes you feel, even though it's not true.
We care. I care.
I care about both of you.
I care about you. I care about your dogs, even though they're getting loud.
I care. They help me too.
Yeah, I
Dogs help
see you,
me.
dogs. We still love you, even though you fucked up some of our audio.
Should we shout
We
out
still
to Chris?
love you.
Should we shout out to Chris?
Shout out to the Chris.
Shout out to the Chris.
Where's your boyfriend?
He's at work.
He's at work. When he comes in, I'm gonna give him a hug and tell him
Yeah,
that
he gets
9/11
off
was an inside
he
job
gets
perpetrated by the United States
He
government.
gets off at 9, so he'll be home soon.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Love these dogs.
He's also a great photographer, videographer,
He is,
musician.
and he's
all
also
that stuff.
funny.
Great human being.
Yeah, he's
He's
awesome.
fun to be around.
He's
which
fun to
is-
be with. Be with my man.
I have had sex with him. Yes.
You wouldn't want
one of us is.
You trying to tell me?
Oh, slap the old kneecap for Rudy.
Yeah. What would you do if you walked in and just the three of us were just pounding each other? Like Josh and I were Eiffel Towering him and high-fiving.
Oh.
Would you really be that mad?
Would I be mad if I walked in on you guys doing that to Chris?
Yeah.
No. I wouldn't be mad at all.
Wait a minute. That's an interesting dynamic. So Mark and I are fucking your boyfriend. Mm-hmm. I'll fucking it.
I'd be like, oh,
let's just get detailed. I'm having sex with him. I'm fucking him in the ass. Mark's got his dick in his mouth. You walk in with some groceries in your hand because you're coming home
and on my
earlier
head,
than you should have with groceries, and you see us in this sexual act, and you're that's your boyfriend. What do you think about? Like, are you mad at him? Or are you like, Chris, I wish you would have told me you had. No,
I really would have been. I would have really been like, I knew it. I knew it. I really wouldn't care. No,
but then do you bounce back after that? Is everything, when I put my clothes back on, my jizz is emptied out, his sack's emptied, we leave. Are you mad at him? Are you like, what the fuck's your problem, Chris?
I think that I would love for it to be you guys if it was going to be anybody.
Oh, that's it. Is it?
I do too.
Yeah.
It's because you reserve judgment because it could be an elaborate prank because it's the three of us. Only the three of us would actually work that up to be like, guys.
But then you'd look and be like, well, Josh is clearly hard. He's clearly thrusting. Chris is he's yelling and it's not in pain. Well, it's a little pain, a little pleasure. And then Mark's rock hard getting his dick sucked. I mean, I think pretty sure that the games, the jokes, they only go so far. I mean, you can't just look up and be like, Jenny, this is a big old joke.
But if Ashton Kutcher did break through the wall, then it would be like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I've been pranked, brother.
I think that,
So, okay.
Seems normal.
Well, Chris,
honestly.
when we see Chris, we'll provide the scenario and see what he has to say about it. Maybe we can get this to go down.
You could even be clothed and show me how it would.
Okay.
Like,
we could do a reenactment.
Yeah, like a reenactment, and then I'll be like.
So let me get this straight. Oh wait, so that's a mission. What time's he getting out of work?
9:00.
I want to see him with our clothes on, Mark. We're gonna reenact how we would have sex with him.
And right now we're gonna show it in the video.
And we're gonna film it.
Nice.
We're gonna film that, and then we're gonna cut to it. That might be our intro to this.
Sounds good to me. The universe is provided. Jenny
provided us.
You can put the video right there.
We're gonna make it look so bad too. Like, all like not tracked very well, but shaky.
That's funny.
Okay.
Bleeding off the sides.
So, Long John. Back to our sponsor, Long John Silver. Long John.
Actually, we have a new one. It's Adobe.
59.
Adobe. No, it's Avid Media Composer is our new.
Oh, it's Avid
sponsor.
Media Composer, but it's Avid Media Composer 3.5. It's not the new one that's used now. It's the old 3.5 edition.
Vintage is in.
Shout out to them. Okay, so Jenny, we talked about that. Mark, I actually want you to jump in here. What's the? Because I know that you've got some fucking demons that are haunting you at night too, brother.
Oh, I thought everybody did.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to say anything, but I'm in this too. Yeah, of course.
So Mark, have you ever tried to commit suicide?
I did when I was 16.
Really?
Yeah. It was like that whole, when you first get your emotions and you don't know how to handle them and you break up with somebody and you're just like, there's too many feelings. It was just like that.
Overwhelming.
Totally. And she had
dread.
Cheated on me and I was like, I don't know how to cope and I wish I was dead. And I took a bottle of something, but it was like aspirin and I just threw up. So it was kind of like one of those half-hearted, cry for help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Listening to a lot of AFI at the time, I think that was the problem.
Which one?
Oh, God. Black Sails in the Sunset.
Oh, it's a great one. It's a great one.
AFI.
Davey.
I love AFI. Baby Havoc.
Do you like their new stuff?
I actually don't even think I've heard any of their new stuff. They've come out with new stuff?
I know. It accidentally got into my YouTube, as it's playing stuff.
Like 2018? Or
Yeah, this
really?
year. And I was just like, this turning this shit off.
AFI still making music?
Was it bad?
It's just not Black Sabbath in the Sunset.
Right. Yeah. It never will be though.
But we should talk about good coping mechanisms for depression. Because I'm with
Drugs.
you. Drugs
Some
is
of your
best.
best coping mechanisms.
Alcohol,
Oh,
drugs,
alcohol, marijuana.
pornography.
Sex.
What else is destructive? AFI.
AFI. Emo music.
I think that the thing that I hate about depression is the things that it's made me, like, not made me do, I don't want to say, but the way that it's affected me, where I've never been a drug addict, but I had stretches in my early 20s where I was doing a lot of drugs to do what you said, to just like run from the problems, you know? And then immediately when I wanted to stop and get better, I did. And a lot of other people around me couldn't, because I don't have an addictive personality. I can drop something pretty easily. But I was doing such stupid shit, like drinking and driving. Like I would go to the package store and get 40 ounces and just start drinking while I was driving. Just not care at all about anything. Not care about your own life, not care about anyone else's life. Then pills came around where you have OxyContin and you're doing a lot of that.
Show up places and you're like, how did I get here the next day? You're like, what am I doing? Like,
getting blackout drunk, taking Xanax, and like insulting people at the bar.
I black out drunk on like 3 PBRs now. It's terrible.
I've gotten buzzed off a single beer.
Yeah, that's
how
what happens
bad
to me.
I am now. I don't do anything like that anymore.
Yeah, can't.
So many embarrassing scenarios. I lost a bag of cocaine when I was like 21, 22. I lost a bag of cocaine that I'd gotten at a party inside my car. And I had pulled into Crazes, and it was like the sunrise. It was like 6:30 in the summer, like sun coming up.
Yeah.
And I'm ripping through the car because my car is a mess. There's bottles everywhere. There's like paper towel. It's just shit everywhere. I was a fucking pig. And I'm like, I can't be driving around with this bag of coke in here. If like I get pulled over and the cop looks through the car and fucking sees that, I'm in trouble. So I'm rifling through the car, and my dad comes out. And he sees me ripping through the car, and he's like, what are you on? Are you on coke? He was so perceptive. Dude, he was so good. He had lived that drug life.
He knew,
And he knew immediately. He's like, you're looking for fucking coke in there. And I'm like, yes, I am. Yes, you were right.
Did you find it?
And I did find it, and I had to be to work like early the next morning. Like that morning.
Chuck E.
It was like
Cheese?
9 o'clock. No, not Chuck E. Cheese. At Mohegan Sun, I was a bar back. I had to go open a bar. I'm like,
I remember that.
I had to do coke to start that morning.
Oh my God.
I think I might have tried to sleep and then I had to get right back up. I felt like such shit. Then sleeping pills. There was a time where I was so depressed that Paulie gave me a bunch of sleeping pills, and I just did all of them. And fucking
Those are like,
that's
hallucinate
like,
weird things and stuff. They're weird.
I've never hallucinated from pills.
You just have to stay awake past the time they're supposed to make you go to sleep.
Oh yes.
Are you talking about Ambien?
I've done that on Ambien.
Yeah.
Oh, dude,
I've done
Ambien.
that on Ambien. Yeah.
I've been like talking to things that are in the wall. Ugh.
Dude, it's the worst. I've told things to people that you should never tell. Like
While
I've
you
said
were
like
on-
super honest shit that's like I don't
Really?
really believe that when I'm sober, but when I'm messed up, it's like I think I've ruined this relationship.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, dude, drugs.
But what about good stuff?
The good stuff. Well, I want to talk about the drugs
Mark
because I like to talk. I like to talk about I like to talk about the disgraceful stuff.
I know.
I
Well,
like to talk about
it's
the
still a
disgraceful
lesson
stuff.
to talk about it. It's not good to be doing that shit.
No, it's really, really stupid. And I'm super lucky. This is the thing, is I'm so lucky that I didn't kill anybody or kill myself.
I know. I
And
think about that
when
too.
you come out of something like that, you really get perspective. I will say this, I'm not mad. I'm not upset that any of that bad stuff happened. I'm actually glad. Because it makes you better. If you learn from it, it wires your brain differently and you can see things and you're just more perceptive. And I feel like I have an advantage on some people who've had a life where they don't think about that stuff. So
Yeah.
I
feel compassionate more than I used to. I feel lots of nice things from it. Thankful. Definitely exactly what you were just saying.
I feel more compassionate.
Yeah.
Which I never did before. Like early 20s. Are you kidding me? I never
I know.
thought about it. You can barely handle yourself. I've started to acknowledge that other people exist and most humans now. I mean, I think most of us are trapped in your ego and you don't really think about other people the way that you should. And I think
everybody's so worried about what everybody thinks about them. They're too busy thinking about that, and then they're thinking about you. They don't think about you. but you feel like they are because you're in the same cycle. So it's like everybody really, if they were just like more open and accepting and not caring so much about that, would be a much happier place.
I think so too. I also think that now is the time for me to pitch to you the Gosler, the
Okay.
Gosla. So we told you a little bit about the Gosla.
I did hear a little bit about this.
So real quick, Mark, digression here, and then we'll go back into depression because talking about the depression stuff starts to get me more depressed.
I
So
know.
let's jump out of it, and then we'll come in and out of it throughout this. So things don't get
That's why
fucking.
comedy
So
is
things
so
don't
great.
get gloomy.
Isn't that what comedy's for?
This is what comedy's for. And let's talk about the Gosla. So do you want to? So this is a movie that Mark and I really want to make. It's got to have Ryan Gosling in it.
It
Mark,
has
do you
to.
want to? Do you want to try
Let
to
me
set this up?
I'll try to set it
and
up.
when if you're missing something, I'll add.
So this is off the heels of La La Land. It's La La Land in the future. Ryan Gosling has had a son. And one day his son, in the movie, just decides to communicate with dance. Just starts dancing all the time. And so Ryan Gosling, to communicate with his son, learns how to dance.
His son refuses to speak.
Beautiful.
He only communicates through the rhythm of his body.
Right.
During the filming of La La Land 2 now, in real life, Ryan Gosling meets a PA on the set. She's obsessed with Ryan Gosling. In her mind, he is the perfect man. He can
And
do
a lot of
nothing
girls'
wrong.
mind.
Well, I have my mind too. And so on set, they actually fall in love and they make plans to get married. Well, unfortunately, during the filming of the quintessential scene where he's dancing with his son, Ryan Gosling trips, falls, and hits his head.
And he takes on a new identity. The identity of the fucking Gosla. This is like a New England. You know, he used to be this wonderful guy he was funny, charismatic, polite, well-spoken. And this is the man, the Ryan Gosling, that this chick, this PA, fell in love with. And now she's with a guy. She doesn't even know this guy anymore. He's not Ryan Gosling. He's the fucking Gosla. Gosle on these nozzles.
She brings him over to like family dinner and he goes up to Granny and he's like, "Hey, Granny, why do you suck these nuts?"
The Gosla.
The Gosla.
And here's the thing is they look at him and he looks like Ryan Gosling, but he's disrespectful. He's the fucking Gosla. And they don't know. It's fucking with people's minds because who is this man? I thought I fell in love with Ryan Gosling. He looks like Ryan Gosling. He looks like the man. But he's the fucking Gosla. He disrespects everybody. He's mean. And she doesn't know. Like, the family's letting him get away with it because they know the head injury. They know, like, he still is Ryan Gosling. He's made some incredible pictures. He's respected in society.
Can he still make these pictures or no?
No,
Can
he
he
can't
do-
because he's the fucking
Gosla.
Gosla.
Okay, so he
the
can't even-
The way they communicate is through dance. Even though he's the fucking Gosla.
When they dance
When they
together.
dance together, it's beautiful, it's magical. They reconnect and they communicate spiritually, like from a soul standpoint. They communicate when they dance. But as soon as the dance ends, he says stuff like "Gozzle my nozzle" and that kind of shit. You know what? No more gozzle para. No more. Fucking no more the Pats. We gotta watch the fucking Pats.
Pass me the Sambuca!
It's
That guy.
Get me a fucking Bud Light Lime.
like the
We need $8 million
Wahlbergs on, like,
seed money.
So we're gonna
the
need.
Wahlbergs on like
Yeah, it's like Andrew Dice Clay turned to like 11.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the movie is basically Ryan Gosling hits his head in a dance mishap and becomes Andrew Dice Clay.
so he would wear like that outfit too, just
With
the white shirt with
the-
the leather jacket
And the
like
gloves
that's it.
and
Yeah.
the fucking smoking a cigarette. Yeah. That whole thing.
Just starts doing Andrew Dice Clay impressions. It won't stop. Hickory dickory dock. Hey, your fucking wife said on my cock. All right? Oh. The dogs are like, what the fuck are you saying over there?
So can we get you down for like a cool $7 million?
Yeah.
Seed money.
We're gonna mark you down for $7 million on the Gosla.
Okay.
If we could get Ryan Gosling, if we brought Ryan Gosling to the investors pitch, it's like we have the script, we have Ryan Gosling.
We're on
I
Shark
think-
Tank.
I think we could get it.
Mark Cuban.
Mark Cuban, what do you think about this picture?
And Kevin would just be
You
like,
guys are-
in perpetuity, I want 26%. I'm going to give you $8 million in venture capital, venture debt.
Venture debt.
It sounds exciting. It's venture debt.
All right, so that's the Gosla pitch.
That's a good one, I think.
Mark, anything else you want to add to the Gosla?
No, I think that's it. I think the anodized clay was the cherry.
I
I think
that
we figured it out with
you
that.
figured
I
it
think
out.
we
That
have.
was like, that is what actually sold me to give you my $7 million to make the movie.
Was how concise we were with our pitch.
Right. You guys really have a lot of passion.
I have a lot of passion. I do. It's in my body. It's in my
It's got to get out.
It's in my cells. It's gotta get out. Oh, that's funny. Oh, yeah. I'm just trying to think about how I would have sex with your boyfriend.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah.
I'm not sure now. In my mind, I'm getting a little antsy because I want the mouth, and I feel like Mark's been hogging it.
In the fantasy.
In my we're listening to R. Kelly or Jodeci. We're listening to definitely early '90s R&B stuff that like my mom listens
There
to.
ain't nothing wrong.
With a little bump and grind.
I'm picturing it. It's very kind of
We're there.
It's poetic, honestly.
Would you ever make love? Have you
poetic.
ever made love in like a mask, like from Eyes Wide Shut, like one of those
Oh, like,
masquerade
no.
style masks
No.
with the long noses, the big bird noses?
No, I don't think so.
You know what I'm talking about? Those big long bird beak.
Yeah. I've seen porn where they wear like the mask.
I
with
have
the
too.
dildos
I don't
on.
like it. I don't want to take your mask off. I don't want to watch people have sex with masks on. Reveal yourself. That's what I want to see. I don't want you fucking with masks on around me.
It reminds me of that magician that wore a mask that gave away all the.
On The Magician's Secrets?
Yeah, he gave all the
Yes!
secrets away. He was in that mask.
People hated that guy.
Yeah, they did.
Well, I slightly recall the Magician's Secrets. What?
He would just show you how the tricks were done. But he would be wearing a mask the whole time, so you couldn't tell who it was.
His
So
masks
he'd-
looked like those things that flew around in Zelda. The masks, the faces that would come up. That's what his face looked like to me.
he'd show you like David Copperfield's tricks and stuff, how it was really done. Blow everybody's spot up.
And people were mad at him. People were like, "Get the fuck out of here! You're ruining everybody's shit."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Those
you
guys
ruined-
spend real money on tricks, too.
This dude, what a fucking egotistical fuck.
It hasn't stopped that industry at all. People still love that
You
crap
can never
in
stop
Las
a magician.
Vegas. Like
You
whatever.
can't stop a magician. Jesus.
He was probably
Angel.
that guy. You know what? He probably what's his name? Who's
The
this guy who did this?
He was
I-
like,
I don't know
they
who
didn't-
he
they
is.
never
He wasn't
did-
very
What was the
famous.
show's name? What was the name of the show?
Magicians revealed something.
Something
Magic
Magicians
revealed.
Revealed, right? It was Magicians
Yeah,
Revealed.
something.
That guy was a fucking magician's assistant at one point.
course.
And he fucking wanted to spill the beans because he couldn't make it in the big time in Vegas. He wanted to get a show like Copperfield
Yeah.
in Vegas or like the Mind Freak, fucking Chris Angel. But he couldn't. And he got fucking pissed and he wanted to fucking spill the beans on everybody.
Yeah.
Fuck that guy. Magicians Revealed, Secrets Revealed, whatever the show's called.
It was
You
on-
know who you are. You
It was
listen
on
to the
Fox
podcast.
though,
Fuck
so
you.
they made him a lot of money. I mean,
I'm sure he made it.
a ton of
I'm
money.
sure he made a ton of
He was on
cash off of
Fox
that. Yeah.
back in the day.
I remember when it was on Fox. That's back in the day when Fox showed good stuff like Alien Autopsy.
You'd be like,
Do you guys remember when they had the Alien Autopsy
Yes.
video on, dude? I was obsessed with that. As a kid, I was like, oh my. Because remember, there was like, for a brief moment, there was the notion that this could possibly be a
do you
real
remember what
alien
year that
autopsy.
was? Was it like 97 or
Yeah,
something?
dude,
Yeah,
like, that was the
definitely in that
golden,
ballpark.
the golden age.
Because I remember in the summer, I didn't stay up for a lot of stuff. Or like, I don't want to say stay up, but like pay attention to shows in the future. Because I was at an age
Yeah.
where, I don't give a fuck. Just watch whatever's on TV. But when that came on, that gave me chills. Didn't
I
that give
remember-
everybody
yeah,
chills?
I
The idea that
remember-
that
Oh,
could
yeah.
have been an alien was like so crazy to me.
I remember TV was like one of the things my family did all together. If it was something like that, we would all like sit around and watch it. That was it. Like stay up late, stay up until 8:30 to watch this. It's like how do people nowadays? Nobody has that kind of excitement anymore. That
For
like
anything.
that like excitement for like that thing you're waiting up for because you can just find whatever you want whenever.
I still feel that way for celebrity nudes, though. When a new one comes up, I'm like, ooh. Something I
Celebrity
haven't seen.
Deathmatch.
Oh, God, that show was good.
Classic, baby. Celebrity Deathmatch. Give us a call. We'll sponsor you.
Oh, we're sponsoring them now. The tables
We're,
are turned.
we're sponsoring. We're sponsoring Celebrity Deathmatch. We have the licensing. We've got it from MTV. We'll be showing a little. We'll have a little like 10-seat type of deal in your basement. We'll get a projector, and we'll be the only ones with the rights.
There were so many people from my childhood from MTV that, like Kurt Loder, I would watch like a 5-hour documentary about that guy. What was his deal? I don't know anything about that dude.
I can't remember what it was. There was a show recently that had all those MTV people on it. I can't remember what it was though.
MTV.
Pointless to the conversation. Oh, that's my dog.
Is your dog outside?
Yeah. Talk about
Your dog's screaming.
Yes.
Your dog's like,
That was
come
terrifying.
get me!
Yeah.
Come, please! You got anything positive to say about Long John Silver while she's out with the dog?
Positive. No. They have really disgusting bathrooms.
Mark, if you keep doing this shit, man, with the sponsors, not saying positive stuff about them,
Okay, I'll
then
say
we're gonna lose all our sponsors. And you know what, Mark? We're not in a position where we can be throwing away De Niro.
if you've ever swallowed a bomb and have 2 minutes to shit it out, Long John Silver's.
Long John Silver's is like drinking bong water with some chewing tobacco. It's like swallowing a whole packet of Skull that was in some old instant coffee that had just been in a bathtub with your Uncle Frank. That's what Long John Silver's. Hey, if you're going to come in here now, I'm talking to Jenny's dog, for all you squares that don't know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a husky dog. We got 3 huskies in this room right now.
We got 4 because that was the size of clothing my mom used to buy me when I was 14.
Ooh,
Husky.
Mark was a husky, man.
Still, I'm a husky man. When you get older, it's just fat. That's how life changes. You're husky as a teen and you're just fat.
Jenny, what advice can you give to photographers out there that look at you and say, hey, I want to be like her? What do you say to the 18-year-old? What do you say to the girl that just graduated high school or is about to graduate high school who wants to be a photographer and who's actually serious about it? What advice do you give?
I think that you would just have to never stop doing it. Like, you have to keep at it. A lot of people quit when it gets hard, and you have to like go past the point of that. And dogs are distracting me. I'm sorry. I'm afraid they're gonna like knock that over.
Oh, you're good. I'm keeping an eye out.
Okay. It's a lot of work. I work, not anymore, but when I first started working, I really was doing like 90-hour weeks of just like photography stuff. And just have to come up with a style that's like true to you and not try to be like some other guy who's got like 1 million followers. You don't want to be like anybody else. You want to have your own style that like stands out to people, because why would you want to do what other people do?
And the 90-hour weeks, they're going to have to be prepared to spend a lot of time.
A lot of time, yeah. It takes time. When I first started, I was crap. So bad. My editing was terrible, everything. It takes a lot of learning, and I think that my experience is that I'm like a hands-on learner. I have to do it myself. Going to school would have done nothing for me. It would have been a waste of money.
I don't think it
I
did
would have went to
anything from
debt.
anyone.
Yeah. Like, I would have been in debt, like, whatever. But, like, my experience, and, like, you also have to realize when you've worked enough and you're worth something, and people need to give you money for what you do, because you can't just give this gift to the world and expect everybody to want it, or, like, to get it for free, you know. Money's good. I like money.
As we say this from Jenny's house, which is a beautiful house, by the way. I'm proud of you.
Thank you very much.
Dude, we've known each other a long time. And
where I started?
right.
Ooh,
I'm proud of you.
some loser that just
What a loser.
get rides from people.
Loser. We're just young and stupid. And, I don't know.
Had fun.
You
I would
figured
say
it out.
no
Had a
college
lot of
for if somebody wanted to be a photographer
Don't do
or a
it. There's
filmmaker
no
or
point.
anything. Honestly, you're better off getting experiences.
They
Instead of going to school, I wish I would have took like a small bank loan, like $5,000, and gone to a country for a month and just did a documentary
Right, the
there.
stuff
and
you guys do with
learned
that stuff is
everything.
awesome.
When we went to Puerto Rico, I learned way more than I ever would. That was like 10 years. That was like a decade of like what I would have learned at school.
And rewarding, more rewarding.
Way more rewarding. And there's something that they can't teach you. Like, what happens if the power goes out? How do you fucking dump all your footage onto a laptop when you've got no sleep and you fucking don't want to fucking do that? And now you're dealing with media, dumping shit over, making sure you fucking got everything and didn't fuck something, like stupid shit. It's the dumb shit. In filmmaking, the thing that I've learned most is that it's not the shit that you think is going to fuck you. It's like, oh, my camera was fucking really overexposed. Like, nah, that shit, it'll be like you forgot a battery in some dude's car and now your fucking shit's about to die. Like shit like that. Like that's the shit that'll really fuck you.
Well, that was something we didn't plan for. We got lucky there.
Yeah.
But that fucked us. We were super cognizant of like bring power, but we didn't plan for losing contact for like 3 hours from each other because after the protest, everybody's phone died.
Oh, I didn't even know that happened. Really?
Yeah. So like literally, like I tried to call them and my phone died or their phone died. Then they tried to call me. My phone died.
Was it a matter of getting separated like during the riots? That
during the protests.
Like you guys just got
right, and we weren't from there, and we all
Yeah.
ended up in different ends of the city. It was power, but we had planned to be without power, but that we didn't even plan far enough. We should have brought more external packs. So even when you plan for something, it still bites you in the ass.
Yeah.
But you get that experience though. Where in school everything is like controlled. It's like, okay, kids, we're gonna go inside the studio and we're gonna set up some 3-point lighting. And you have about fucking 9 hours to do it today. So have that. And that's not how shit works. Right. It doesn't work controlled.
Yeah,
it's like, okay, you paid whatever to rent my house. I want you in and out as fast as fucking possible. Like you can't.
Right. Or
and
like,
if it takes you more than the day, you have to pay someone again for their property use.
Or you scheduled to shoot 2 months out and it's raining on this day and you have to they don't teach you that kind of stuff.
The person who said they were going to give you their place, now all of a sudden they've reneged and they don't want to give it to you now. It's last minute. You have work. It's like these just things that don't go to school. School is becoming more and more to me just a complete waste of time.
They try to tell you that you're going to get like contacts and stuff by going to these schools.
Well, the only thing that I will say about positive is that it is, if you're going to go, you better make connections. Because that's the only thing I can say about it is I've made some of my best friends. Some of the best relationships I've ever had.
You got access to lists of people that you wouldn't from like.
Yeah, I came across a different strata of people from the Groats. Like we're from Eastern Connecticut, so there are these people that are just. I don't want to say anything too negative about them, but they're just the people who are like, nothing good can happen to me and nothing good can happen to you. I'm gonna go watch the fucking Pats.
Yeah.
And then there are people that they aspire for more, and then everyone's like, fuck you, you'll never make That's like what most of the circle is in Eastern Connecticut. Going to school was like, people are like, yeah, man, I like what you do. I want you to do well. I want you to succeed. It's like support. People are like trying to like prop you up, especially if you come from a shitty place. I'm not used to that. Nobody wants shit for you. They're like, I want you to be as miserable as me and be drinking Dunkin' Donuts in the winter. It's like the New England people can suck. Some of them are cool, but a lot of them.
I like living up in this town. Not to say anything bad about where we're from.
but we're from fucking Groatsville.
Those people will do nothing and expect so much praise and like you're supposed to just love them and like they don't really do anything at all. They involve themselves in matters that don't matter. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's so like.
But going to school, going to any kind of college can put you in a new strata as far as social circles go. Yeah, you can meet a really smart person you never would have met, and then they introduce you to their fucking friends who have money, who have families that have money, like that have money and opportunity. Really, you're not looking for money. You're looking for money and you're looking for opportunity because no one's just going to give you money. But you stumble across people that have money, and then there's opportunity to do work for them, and you just you can't get that here. I mean, you can start from the bottom, but it's up to you. I mean, if you want to take on debt and get a better social circle, that's cool. But I think if I could go back in time, I would try to actually do well in school because it doesn't take that much. High school's a fucking joke, and I didn't want to do well in high school, and I would have did really well and gotten scholarships and done college. Because if you can do college debt free, fucking do it. Yeah. If you can do it with little debt or no debt at all, then do it.
Well, that's why I'm
fucking do it.
I feel happy because I feel like I'm at my level of success that I want to be doing without school, and I have no debt at all. So that's way.
I
There's
think this-
people I know that went to school to be like doctors and stuff, and they're in debt still at my age. Like,
Yeah.
I wouldn't want that. Like,
It sucks.
yeah. But I mean, still, that's what they're going to be making in like 5 years, way more money than I'll ever dream of. But
Well, it's not. Well,
I mean, you still did the smarter thing, I think. I mean, to be where
and
you're
it
at
depends
with
on what you
that.
want to do. If you want to be a doctor or a lawyer
Yeah.
or something, then yeah, I mean, you gotta go to school. Sorry.
No.
But for most people, an apprentice would be cool.
yeah.
I wish I would have had an apprentice. I wish there was like some old guy who was like, I'm do videography and I have a van and I edit, and I would have been like, just
I have a
chill
van?
with
Van?
that, chill in that dude's van. Hope for the best. Hope he's got editing software in there,
Making barely
No,
legal
yeah.
videos.
not buckets of Werther's originals, which was my grandfather's favorite.
How big's this bucket? I like Werther's.
But yeah, the school thing. Okay. Is there, Mark, is there anything you want to talk about? I feel like, let me see how long we've been going. We've been going for 69.
69,
No, 50.
yeah, 69
I gotta
minutes.
always do the worst 69
69.
joke. There have been times where I've been around people that don't know that sometimes I like to joke and have it be really, really bad. And they think it's bad, and that's funny to me. Like, my sense of humor has gotten weird now. Like, I like to say really unfunny stuff.
And people are looking
And
at you like,
have people react
Yeah,
like,
it's
dude,
the best.
what? This guy has no sense of humor. And I was about with the 69 thing, I almost do it. Like around this chick Julia that I've been seeing, I've almost done it, and I'm like, pull back. Don't. She doesn't know you like that yet. Don't. She might think that you really are that dude.
I don't think she would, dude. I think
I would
think
love
she
to know
did.
Josh in that setting where it's like, can't say 69. I can't
Yeah.
say 69
Bite-
around this
bite your
girl.
tongue. I do that joke to my dad, dude. It's
And he loves it.
loves it.
69, the funniest number.
That's weird though. As you get older, it's like all the funny jokes are like boring. You want to see what's the stupidest thing you can
Yeah,
say
that's
and
like-
watch
Which
the other
brings
person.
me to this. I just remembered that our sponsor is 69. We're sponsored this week by 69 the number and the sexual position. So if you're going to 69 anybody this week, you're welcome. Because
We sponsored it.
we sponsor 69. Are we sponsored? We're not sponsoring 69. We don't have the money for that.
69 is sponsoring us.
69 is
Sponsoring
sponsoring
us.
Every time you.
Oh, the rapper 6ix9ine. The rapper 6ix9ine. That's what I really
That's how
meant.
it comes together.
The rainbow-haired rapper 6ix9ine. He is
Rainbow.
sponsoring the Mark and Josh podcast from jail
And we are in turn sponsoring everyone 69ing.
right now.
It's a trickle down.
I love 69. It is a good position. I don't want to get too weird, too sexual. 69, I've never been mad at it. You don't like it. You don't like, what is it? You don't like the idea of someone just jousting you in the mouth?
No, I don't mind that at all. What I do mind is
Me climbing up with my sack.
trying to concentrate when there's a dick in my mouth, you know? You're like concentrating on this, and then there's a dick in your I'm sorry, Dad. I know he's going to listen to this.
It's overwhelming. The 69 position is kind of overwhelming.
Is that the point though?
Yeah.
It is. Because
I'm
you're like,
sure, yeah.
Yeah, it's I just enjoy it.
so you don't enjoy it. You never
For-
say to
I think-
Chris, 69, 69.
I know. I just think for a woman, you like use so much of your brain, like to think for orgasms and stuff. So it's not like it's. I'm thinking more about like the dick in my mouth than I'm thinking about.
You got a lot of jobs. When you're
Yeah,
69
yeah,
you're
yeah.
working overtime.
Wearing a lot
Right.
of hats.
It's too much for me.
69 really is an overload. But the first time you did, I didn't even know I did a bad joke.
Overload. Load.
Overload.
We went there.
I never would have. See, I hate that. Mark will do that. I'll say something I didn't even know it was a bad pun and go, and I'm like, shut up. You stepped on my joke. Shut your mouth.
He got it too.
He punctuated it. He
Got it
didn't.
too.
He didn't step on it.
You stepped on my joke, man. Stop calling out my puns, bro.
I didn't mean
That's a sitcom on Fox this fall. A dude who everything he says is a pun, and there's a dude who mentions it. And he's like, "Shut the fuck up!" And he can't stop. Everything, the scripts, you got to get master pun makers because the entire script, every word of that guy is puns. And he has a friend who's like, "Dude, you said overload," and he's just like, "Fuck, stop."
How could it come to this?
All right.
Dude, we're laughing. We're laughing
Three
at it.
Stooges
though.
box
We are laughing though.
I think
All right, I don't really
Jenny,
have anything else to say.
do you have
I
anything you
to-
wanna talk about?
I have to
Anything you wanna
urinate.
say? No.
If you guys,
I think I was-
Jenny, I think what you've said has been very inspirational.
I hope so. I feel like I was kind of blabbering. I don't even know what I was
Blabbering.
saying. I was blabbering
podcast.
around.
Blab all you want.
That is what you're supposed to do, right?
Yeah, you should start podcasting.
Maybe I'll start a
more.
podcast where I just blab.
You should.
You should.
You just live stream.
You totally
just live
should.
stream your blabbering, and people will be like, "Yeah."
Like Stickam days. That's what I used to do. People used to watch me do nothing.
It was
Well,
weird.
now you can really make money off
Super
of it. So
weird.
you should.
Yeah, I feel weird now when I do it. I try to
Really?
do live chat on Instagram and stuff. I'm like, this is weird.
I don't like live stuff. I think it's weird. I think you need to, unless you're at a big event or something like that, you need to get a life. If you're just like, if you're like at, I don't know, Elon Musk is firing a rocket off and you happen to be at that event, then yes, by all means, go live on Facebook. You're showing me Elon Musk's rocket.
yeah.
But if you're fucking on the couch
Yeah.
watching Steve Harvey,
Right. Yeah.
then I don't care what you have to say. Who the fuck should I listen to you?
Nobody.
You didn't do anything. You're in your house.
I'd watch it. I mean, you might say something pretty funny about Steve Harvey on the couch. I can see you being funny.
Steve
about
Harvey, I want to give a shout out to him because I think he's an ugly son of a bitch. And he made it. That ugly ass face is on TV every day. My God.
Like,
Did you ever watch Monsters Inc?
yeah.
Do you remember the guy who gets the hose stuck on his mouth and pulls it off?
Oh, yeah.
He looks like Steve Harvey. They put a mustache on that guy and made him.
love
He looks
that
like Mr.
movie.
Potato Head.
Dude, he does.
I love that movie, Monsters Inc. That's a good movie.
I love Monsters Inc. too. It's a
good
great movie. I've had sex to that movie in high school.
Mike Wazowski. Just Billy Crystal's voice in your ear. Nice.
That's a weird. I just said I had sex to that movie. I'm glad that I clarified that it was in high school. If you have sex to that movie, it's kind of weird.
I didn't hear you say in high school.
I put that on for an underage child.
I didn't hear you say that, and I thought it was normal. I don't know.
That's just the kind of
Some
life.
people.
I think it's weird. I say stuff like that and don't think about it, but you really got to clarify. The pedophile thing has gotten so prevalent now.
It's bad. Yeah.
It's bad. People stop fucking children. Eat Red Lobster instead.
Wait, is that what Long John Silver's is a deterrent?
Long John Silver's,
Give you so
they've
much-
infiltrated my brain
They're up
with electromagnetic frequencies, and they're telling me to say this right now. They're telling me, eat a Red Lobster. It'll give you the shits. You'll fucking die. It's like Auschwitz, but for
your stomachs. But for your stomach. We're going to a place there.
Oh no.
Oh no.
I think
Oh,
this
no.
podcast ended about 10 minutes ago.
No, I could go on all night.
All right, so that's it. That's a wrap. I think this went way too long. I have a boner. I'm waiting for Jenny's boyfriend to come in so we can reenact
Soon. Very soon.
very soon. What time is it?
9:10.
9:10.
So we should see him at 9:69.
Yeah.
And that's how I'm going to end this one, with that 69 joke. I hope that one landed for you. I hope the idea of me still pleases you after I gave you that joke. Mark, anything else you want to say? Subscribe.
Thank you, Jenny.
Subscribe to the Mark and Josh podcast.
I was the 69th subscriber. You're welcome.
Jenny.
Actually, I was the first, probably.
Jenny
You were
was
the
probably
first.
the first
I was the
subscriber.
first.
All right, everybody.
We love you.
We love you. I hope you're listening. I hope you're glistening.
We got to find another word to rhyme with that.
Yeah.
I hope you're
Every time
pissing.
I hear listening, glistening, I know something else is coming and I can't.
And I hope you're pissing. Goodbye.
Hope you're.
It's coming.
You got me, friend.
Mark and Josh podcast.